October 6th, 2018. 40,000 people held their breath. Not because they were watching a fight, but because they could feel that something irreversible was about to happen. A man walked into that octagon draped in a Dagestani flag. No smile, no theatrics, just eyes. And behind those eyes, a lifetime. This is not a story about a fighter. This is a story about a sun, a mountain, and a promise that could never be broken. This is Behind the Glory. Khabib Nurmagomedov was born in 1988 in a small village in Dagestan, Russia, a place most people couldn't find on a map, a place that would define everything. His father, Abdulmanap, was a combat sports coach with a singular obsession: to build the greatest fighter the world had ever seen. By age 8, Khabib was wrestling grown men. By 12, he wrestled a bear. Not as a stunt, as training. Abdulmanap believed that if his son could survive the bear, no human being inside a cage ever could break him. That philosophy never left Khabib, not once, in 29 professional fights. Before the UFC, Khabib dominated sambo and judo. He wasn't just winning, he was embarrassing opponents. When he arrived in the UFC in 2012, scouts didn't call him a prospect, they called him undefeated, and they didn't know what to do with that. His style was unlike anything the sport had seen. Once he took you to the ground, the fight was over. You just didn't know it yet. He didn't break bodies first, he broke wills. Fight after fight, opponent after opponent. The record kept climbing, and not a single loss, anywhere, ever. Then came Conor McGregor. McGregor attacked everything: his religion, his country, his family. The world waited for Khabib to snap. He didn't, because Abdulmanap had prepared him for this too, not with words, with bears. The fight was not competitive, it was a statement. Round after round, Khabib suffocated him, methodically, ruthlessly, with the cold patience of a man who was never in any doubt. When the choke locked in round 4, it wasn't a victory, it was an inevitability. 27-0. In 2020, the man who built him fell ill. Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov died on July 3rd from COVID-19. Khabib had made a promise to his mother, one last fight. So he stepped back into the octagon, with grief in his chest and the world watching, against Justin Gaethje. He submitted him in round 2. Then he lay face down on the canvas and wept. He retired that night, 29-0, unbeaten, untouched, and done. Today, Khabib doesn't fight. He builds fighters, he coaches, he mentors, he carries the work forward. The records will one day be challenged. Records always are. But the story, the mountains, the bear, the father, the promise, that story belongs to no one else. Khabib Nurmagomedov never lost a single professional fight. But behind every victory, behind every raised hand and every broken opponent, was a boy from the mountains trying to make his father proud. He succeeded, and the glory, it was never just his, it was always theirs.